Grace to you and peace from God our Father and our Lord Jesus Christ. That's a pretty wild gospel reading, isn't it? The name Legion, the demons within the man had given themselves the name Legion, and the number that was commonly understood was over 5,000. This man was possessed by over 5,000 demons, which we can understand as this man was in bondage, captive to the ultimate level. Even 3 demons probably would have been enough. He was in bondage and not free. Can you imagine what the swineherds felt like? Those pigs are all gone. Thousands and thousands of dollars worth. Gone. Gone. How could that have happened? The demons thought they were being smart when they asked to be directed into the swine. But they went into the abyss anyway, didn't they? I think it might be helpful to think about in what ways are we similarly kept in bondage? Not possessed by demons, but our demons are things that keep us pent up and worried and anxious and non-trusting. What are the demons that plague us today? And more so, what is the good news that frees us from that bondage? The second reading for the day could not have been more perfectly timed for this morning. As a reminder, post-Easter, post-Pentecost, of the central meaning of our lives together in Christ. That we are freed. We are justified by faith through grace. We are freed from those demons. But now that faith has come, we are no longer subject to a disciplinarian. For in Christ Jesus, you are all children of Christ, children of God through faith. So in baptism, we are reminded that we are clothed in new garments. We are clothed in the love of God. We are freed from the sin that separates us from ourselves and from one another and from God. I think about that man who was possessed by those demons. He was separated from himself. He was separated from the community. He was cast out into the tombs, cast there naked, or maybe he tore his clothes. He was chained and bound, and the things that bound him were so strong that the demons freed him, so he ran wild. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? To Paige and Inez, great and marvelous gifts are given today. Great and marvelous gifts that come with no strings attached. They cannot earn the gift of God's love. We cannot earn the gift of God's love. But how often do we forget? How often do we forget that we are loved? We are loved wholly, fully. Each one of us is a precious daughter or son of God. The things that bind us make us forget that. Make us think that we are unworthy, unloved, unredeemable. that is just not the truth. But it is so easy to forget that what happens in baptism is not a single point action in our lives. It's something that is renewed every day, and that we can be reminded with an everyday shower or by at communion, dipping our fingers in the water and reminding ourselves that we are chosen. We have been washed clean. And sometimes we think, well, I don't want to do that, that's too Catholic. It's too Christian. Martin Luther made the sign of the cross every morning when he woke up and every night before bed to remind him to whom he belonged. That physical reminder helps our faith to be embodied. Not just to be in our brains, but to be embodied and lived and experienced. To be reminded with water. Maybe when you get in the shower tomorrow morning, you can say, I'm a child of God, baptized child of God. Dear sponsors of Olivia and Paige and Kim, Becky is Kim's new member sponsor. That is why she presented Kim for affirmation of baptism. Sponsors, it is your right and privilege to remind these dear girls that they have been baptized. Remind them of this day, that the power of this day is forever, And that you can remind them that God's love washes away all that can bind us. So what do we do with that? At the end of the gospel reading, Jesus gently invites the healed man, the man who had been formerly possessed by thousands of demons. When he wanted to be and stay with Jesus, he invited him to go back home and tell the good news, tell the truth of what had happened to him. We don't often talk about how God releases us from our bondage, because it's a vulnerable thing. But this man went back to his home country and declared, not just once, but kept declaring what God had done for him. What are ways that we can do that? How can we declare what God does for us? Why would we want to keep that to ourselves? Why would we want to keep that to ourselves? In telling those stories, we experience the presence of God, the movement of the Holy Spirit, the living love of God. So be not afraid to tell others how you experience God, how you experience God's forgiveness and new life. It's maybe different for each one of us, because we each have our own experience in life. But the thing that we share in common is that God loves us no matter what. So when the girls are continuing to grow up, and they are crabby or irritated, God loves them. God loves them. And God gives parents and sponsors and those who parent others patience and love if we ask, when we ask. And I'm really super amazed at the things that Kim has done to organize so that things don't have to get crazy. And what did you call that? I call it the gangrene hour. You call it the what? The witching hour. And each of us can experience the witching hour or gangrene hour or whatever you want to call it. That time at the end of the day when folks come home or get off the bus or come home from work and you're hangry And until we notice that we're hangry, we are caught up in crabbiness, witchiness, gangrenous, which means everything falling apart. God is in the middle of that. God is present in the middle of that and loving us. And reminding us that we need to take care of ourselves before we put the oxygen mask on our children. So I encourage you as parents, Micah and Kim, to remember that you're nurturing your faith and your relationship together is first and foremost, and everything will fall in within God's love. Thanks be to God. Amen.